everyone, and welcome back to the Travel Mug Podcast. I am Jen, joined as always by my amazing partner in podcasting, Megan. So, I am getting ready to take my first plane trip of 2025, which I know it's almost May, but here we are. That's just the way this year is going, okay? So I'm flying Halifax to Vancouver, which is about 6 hours, and then Vancouver to Whitehorse, which is another 2.5 hours. So, like, it's going to be a pretty long day. And this has me thinking about, like, how to prepare for plane travel and then just some, like, general plane etiquette things.
Yeah, and the inspiration overall for this episode came from a few BuzzFeed articles talking about, in particular, plane etiquette. So we kind of wanted to address some of the biggest issues people have with plane travel. And if you feel offended by any of these, I mean, not to be harsh, but maybe you could be part of the problem. I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm just putting it out there. And just really something to think about. And also this episode may come off as like a lot of don'ts with a few do's thrown in, but trust us, this is going to be cathartic. And I feel like it is good to know that you aren't alone in your pet peeves, or even if you do some of the things we talk about by accident or just not really thinking about it, that happens too. So it's good, I think, for awareness even.
Yeah, for sure. So before we dive into some like do's and don'ts, are there any items that you like always bring with you on a plane? Because I'm just asking because I'm getting ready to pack, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So pretty standard. Travel pillow, earplugs, which I did not always take, but have started to incorporate because even if I'm reading, it is really nice to keep out the drone of the plane, crying children, whatever the case might be. AirPods or headphones, a book, iPad, because I do like to switch between reading and watching stuff. My phone, a change of clothes or at least a change of underwear, a water bottle, although not all the time. I don't know what makes me decide to bring one or not. I have zero idea, but sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Chargers, medications I have to take daily as I'm paranoid that my luggage will get lost, and then usually like a sweater. What about you?
Yeah, those are all good things to bring. So I have like a really weird like love-hate relationship with flying. I like genuinely love it, but it also gives me like so much anxiety. So to offset that, I usually make sure to have something that I'm excited about, like excited to do, or like read or listen to. So like a podcast or an audiobook or a regular book that I'm like looking forward to that I like stop myself from doing before the flight so that I have it on the plane. And yeah, I mean, like you, I like to have headphones. I definitely make sure that I have a phone charger and some snacks. I think those are pretty standard. And like we mentioned, I don't know, a while ago, that not all airlines give you snacks, so you cannot rely on them.
No.
Pack your own snacks. This time I'm actually hoping to get a bunch of work done on the plane. I'm not sure if this is me being optimistic or not, but I'm like hoping to get 6 hours of work done on this plane. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, I hope that that works out. And even if you get three, it's more than you had before.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see. I'll update you on my trip report, how much actually gets done.
Excellent. I look forward to it.
All right. So let's get into some plane etiquette. So we actually asked you, the listeners, on Instagram to send us some of your plane pet peeves. And the initial articles, the Buzz feed articles that we mentioned, did have some really good ideas. You guys really came through for us. So we're going to talk about these. So thank you to everyone who shared these, including Jean, Brittany, Laura, Kate, Jungle73, which I believe is my Aunt Jane, and many others.
Hi, Aunt Jane.
Right. Shall we start? I think this is going to be like the most contentious, which is seat reclining. How do you feel, Megan, about seat reclining?
Well, for those of you who don't know, I am around 6 foot tall, like literally just a little bit under, and I'm all leg. So I think we know where this is going. I'm not a big fan of people reclining their seats all the way. So like a little bit, I'm not going to like be chuffed about, but all the way into my lap, not only is it uncomfortable, but also it's hard sometimes to put my tray down. Sometimes it's hard to watch the TV if there is one in the back of the seat. So while I respect the fact that it is there as an option, so of course people have all the reason to take it if they want to, I don't love someone laying in my lap. And because of this, I never recline my seat. What about you?
I don't think I have ever reclined my seat, and it is purely because of anxiety. And I don't want the person behind me thinking, like, oh my gosh, that person reclined their seat. What an arsehole.
That's why you don't do it?
I'm like, no, I can't. I would be sitting there the whole flight being like, the person behind me hates me and I can't handle.
Please don't hate me, sir or ma'am.
And I like, on the flip side, I am 5 feet tall, so I often have lots of space despite a plane being pretty cramped. So when the person does it, it is like less annoying. But yeah, like if I'm trying to work on my laptop on the little plane, like the table tray, like it's going to be kind of difficult. And like, yeah, like you said, it's there. The option is there. It's not illegal to recline your seats, but I don't know, man.
Yeah. And so, like, I'd pray for the seat in front of me to be empty or for it to be someone who feels the same as me. But when you're out in public, I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah, they are.
Indeed. So, another couple of seat complaints, like there was some seat beefs, I'm not going to lie. And these ones, one of them, I definitely is a big one for me. So, just another couple are when others stand up and use your seat for leverage. So does this happen to you? Has this happened to you, Jen?
I can't say that it has. I can't think of a specific time where this has happened to me.
Oh, yes, it's happened to me a lot of times. It's like people forget that they have core strength and arm rests. They instead grab on the seat in front of them and pull themselves up. And that seat they're pulling on is yours, you know? Yeah. So that's definitely one that someone mentioned and I'm on board with. And then another seat one is of course, if there is a TV or entertainment on the back of the seat, it's touch screen. But there are folks that don't know how to gently poke a touch screen or just like tippy tap it.
Right.
When that's all that's required, but instead are like, and of course everything comes through to the next person. It's like you forget there are people there. Has this happened to you? Is this
I don't think so.
Okay, you've been lucky.
Know. Maybe I have. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had people like kicking the seat, but I don't think it was aggressive poking.
Yeah, the aggressive poking one, not so much with me. It's occurred, not the end of the world. I can't really like call out a specific time, but I've had a lot of the leverage. Use your arm rests,
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. I hope you never encounter it.
I hope I don't. Yeah.
All right. What's next?
All right. So people wearing strong scents. And like, yeah, I agree. I feel like as a society, we have slightly moved into a like scent-free life. I don't think a lot of people are out wearing strong scents, but maybe they are depending on where you live. But yeah, it's rough. Like you're in an enclosed space. So please don't wear strong perfume.
And it could be even the case that someone may not be allergic. Like I have a close friend and her face and her lips and everything swell up immediately when people, and I always forget. I'm a terrible friend, but I do try to remember, I swear to God. But I also think it's even headache inducing, even if you're not allergic at times, depending on the strength of the scent that someone is wearing. And listen, no one wants to smell bad. Like I do understand. But if you are in a space that's being shared by many people, but it's also a cramped space, it is really something to just leave out for that journey because it really is unfair to the person next to you.
For sure. Yeah. All right. So the next one is someone next to you hogging the armrests or coming into the personal space of your seat, which I totally agree with. Megan, I want to get your opinion on the armrests. So let's imagine you are in a 3-seat configuration. I think that I've I have the correct opinion, but let's see. Uh, that the two middle armrests belong to the person in the middle seat. The window seat person gets the armrest next to the window, and the aisle seat person gets the armrest next to the aisle, and the middle seat person gets both middle armrests. How do you feel about this?
I mean, I middle seat is kind of, no one usually wants to sit there. Maybe some people prefer it, but usually it's not the desired seat. So I think it's a fairly good compromise. It is two instead of one. So
Mhm.
that's generous.
Yeah.
Um, and the other people definitely have one they never have to share because
Hmm.
it's window and aisle. So yeah,
Right.
I've honestly never thought of it before. Peter was middle seat coming back from Amsterdam, I'm gonna say. And there was a lovely older lady beside him, and she took up his entire and elbowed him the whole time.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's not one to say things to be rude. If it had been me, I'd have been like, "Pardon me." But he's much gentler than me. So, yeah, I think that's good. I'm
Okay.
down with that. I've literally never thought of this configuration before on a serious level, but I'm down for that.
Yeah, I always put myself in the window seat. Poor Ryan gets the middle seat way more often than
Yeah,
he should.
we switch it up. Like I don't want him to have to do it all the time, but I guess I've never pondered that part. And when I have, and we usually have backpacks, so we usually also set those, of course, under the seat in front of us. So I'm very careful about making sure my stuff also doesn't spill onto the
Hmm.
other
Hmm.
person because there's so little space. And sometimes people just like sort of like open their bags and stuff spill out and they're just sort of it's just sort of maybe how they sort of are in general, and it's one of those, again, you're stuck in a small space with other people. It's just a consideration factor.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Now this next one is also an interesting one. So people who immediately stand up with the seatbelt sign goes off to get their luggage, even though we all know, unless it's your first plane trip, that it's usually 10 to 15 minutes before anybody exits, depending on where your seat is. The people not exiting the plane is another one in an orderly fashion. I think those kind of go hand in hand. So people who jump up immediately, and then once you are ready to exit, people who don't do it row by row.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so I think the people that stand up when the seatbelt sign goes off and then go to get their luggage, I this is anxiety and I understand. Like for some people, for me, this is why. I need to be the fastest, most efficient person possible that doesn't get in anybody's way because I don't want them to hate me. Okay? So I need to get my bag immediately.
Really?
And just I can't make this thank you for this episode for therapy because
We'll do a prescription at the end.
I'm sorry. Can I just send this entire recording to my therapist?
We've got a lot to talk about.
Okay. So I just don't want to be in anybody's way, but I guess maybe I'm creating the situation that I hate. I'm not sure.
See, now it's interesting because the people who hop up right away with nowhere to go make me anxious because I'm like,
Mhm.
where the F are you going? Like, just give yourself a minute. I know we've all, and don't get me wrong, I know we've all been sitting down for a long time. I feel all those things as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I do get it, but I just think all these people going in the overhead bin, in the aisle, all the things, it's just too much when we're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's totally fair. Yes, people should definitely exit the plane in an orderly fashion by row, unless you need extra time to get off, in which case you can stay in your seat until you, yeah,
Until
until
you
the
have
more
to.
people have gone. Yeah.
Now, also follow up to that is there's been times where we've been on planes and announcements have literally been made that say, please stay in your seat because we have people who need to get off the plane to catch connections or they will
Yes.
miss them.
Yeah.
And then those mother effers they still stand up and they still get in the aisle. And they're just like, oh, like it honestly, it brings about such rage. And not just the regular folks, but I'm talking in a situation where people truly need to get off this plane. Get out of the way.
Yeah, 100%. Get out of the way.
Like, I don't know what else I'm gonna say,
I
but
don't know. Yeah. Yeah. And I do stand up right away, but one, I'm usually in the window seat. So I'm just standing up to stand up. And also, I'm 5 feet tall and I can stand up. Like I can stand all the way
that's very
on most
enviable.
plates. Yeah. Well, I can't reach the top shelf of my cupboards at home. But I
But I
can
can stand on a
stand up.
plane.
So I'm just stretching my legs. I'm not meaning to rush anybody. I'm so sorry.
Excellent. And really, if you're standing up by the window, no one's hating on you for doing that. I think you
Okay.
can tell your therapist that part too.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. I don't think that was completely about you. All right, what's the next one?
Okay, so people who rush or crowd the gate before boarding when it isn't their turn and often block access to those who are there for pre-boarding, who need pre-boarding, or have paid for pre-boarding.
Mhm.
So, yes, I think that this comes from the overhead bin space issue that we have seen over the last, I'm going to say like 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, it's been created.
Yeah. Yeah. This is an airline created problem. And it is unfortunate. I wish that we could board more orderly, but it just always seems like chaos.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And I mean, I think that this has definitely been a created problem, but also you bringing too much stuff for the plane is not my problem.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
what I'd like to say on that is that it does make it difficult when people are crowding because you're still not going to get on faster. They're going to call by zone. They're going to call by seat numbers. They are going to do it orderly, whether you are crammed at the gate or not.
Mhm.
And it is assigned seating. Like, you have a seat. Like, it's not like a concert where there's that open space where everyone can crowd in and just sort of stand around. So you crowding the gate and blocking it for parents, people in wheelchairs, people who've paid for it, whatever the case may be, is helping no one. Just sit down. And I am saying this, I'm going to be honest, to my old self.
Megan.
I used to, it was anxiety ridden because I thought
Yeah.
I need to get on there. But no, I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what
Yeah.
and Peter has actually helped a lot with this. And my father, I traveled with him once, and I think he might have been the last person on the plane because he's way too casual. But I think just sitting down and taking a deep breath, waiting for your zone to be called, and then making your way just works better for the overall flow of everyone getting on in a timely manner.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I agree.
Call me crazy.
Yeah.
Next one is also quite contentious.
Mhm.
So when people take their shoes off and put their bare feet up on the armrest, which also is attached to someone in front of them, or they walk around the plane in bare feet. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so first of all, I take my shoes off, but I have socks on, and I don't put it up on the armrest. I understand the instinct to do that. But yeah, gross. I don't want to see your toes right here while I'm sitting there. And yeah, I wouldn't walk around the plane in my bare feet just for myself. Like that's gross. I don't like I don't like taking my shoes off to go through security. You
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
I agree. I never have bare feet on a plane because I never wear flip-flops because I'm scared my feet are going to get cold. So that is just
Yeah.
never something that I do. And I don't wear my bare feet in socks. I mean, bare feet in shoes because that feels terrible to
That's
me.
wild.
Yeah,
Who does that?
that's a wild thought. Now, I do also take my shoes off sometimes and air my feet out with socks on. I don't, I'm going to say this now, I don't have a foot odor problem, so I don't mind taking my shoes off.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be no repercussions for anyone. But if I also get up to go to the bathroom, I'm going to put my shoes on because, ew, I'm not putting any type of foot on that bathroom floor.
No, no.
And yes, you should be concerned about your bare feet on a foreign floor. Like, you don't know what's going to jab you, poke you, get on your foot. What if it's some kind of fungus? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, no, thank you.
Keep your feet in your socks or your shoes.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I actually have there's a friend I have, she travels a lot for work, and she posted on Facebook about, she kind of like reposted every few years when it comes up, and she looked back and on her footrest on the back of it was someone's like toes and foot. And I'm just like, oh, that's what nightmares are made of.
Oh, no, thank you.
I know. What do we got
All
next?
right. So next is people crowding. Man, people, we hate the crowding. People crowding right up to the luggage carousel, essentially blocking it for when people need to get their bags. 100% agree. I also hate when it's like a family of 6 and they're all crowded around the luggage carousel. Like, you need a designated person and they will get the bags. Like, you don't need all of you.
Yeah. And again, I also think it comes from, and this is normal human nature as well. You've been on a plane, you're excited for your trip, or you're excited to get home. So you're like, ooh, I need to get my luggage. And don't get me wrong, we all feel that way. And I definitely understand it. But you're exactly right. Like, not every single person in your party needs to crowd, nor do you need to stand knee to buckle. Like, you, let it be a little bit more careful. So if someone like is standing back and needs to scoot to get their bag, that there's actual room to do so. So I just think it's one of those things of being conscious of the people around you and understanding, yes, you want to get your bag, but so does everyone else.
For sure. Yeah.
Definitely. Now, this has never happened to me, and I will be interested to see the day that it does. But the next one is passengers expecting other passengers to give up their seat so they can sit with their family members. So essentially trying to make someone else responsible for their lack of planning. What are your thoughts about this?
Oh, this is probably another contentious one too. I don't think anyone has ever asked me to move, like to switch seats with them so that they could sit next to whoever they're traveling with. I have definitely seen it happen, and I usually pay for my seat. Honestly, I usually pay so that I can sit where I want to sit. And so I am not switching unless they are giving me a better seat than the one that I paid for.
Right.
Um, we have had people offer to switch with us when Ryan and there was one flight that we were on that we didn't pay for our seats. And so we got, assigned seats 24 hours at check-in, and we weren't sitting together. And someone offered to switch with us because they were a solo traveler. And so it didn't really matter to them, which was really quite lovely. So yes, if someone offers to switch, perfect. If you're asking someone to switch, you better be offering something good, because otherwise I'm not doing it.
Or at least don't expect and be upset if the person says no. Like, because some people might not care. They might not have paid for their seat. They might be alone. They didn't notice that there were, 2 other people in a party who aren't being able to sit together. But if they're asked, maybe they'll say yes. I've had people offer their seat so that Peter and I could sit together. But I've never asked someone because it is just one plane ride and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I just think if you ask someone, you can't get upset if they say no.
100%. Yeah.
Some people won't care, which is great, but it's not always going to be the case.
Yeah.
And the last one is people who board and stand in the aisle rearranging their entire lives before taking their seats while holding everyone up who's trying to board. This happens almost every flight I've ever been on.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, for sure.
So
It's wild.
That is definitely one. And again, it's like the people who stand in the middle of sidewalks. The world is and needs to go on around you. So just be mindful, I guess, is all I'd like to say about that.
Definitely.
So I think we've covered a lot of beefs.
Yeah, we definitely have.
And I think it's probably time for you and I to narrow down individually or personally the ones that are the biggest ones. And for me, I was able, surprisingly, to narrow it down. So for me, as right off the hop in the skip and the jump is reclining your seat the entire way back. It's just one of those things that for me, that is something to think about. Who's behind you? If no one's behind you, it doesn't matter. But it's really just something to be conscious of because you don't know what the person's space is like behind you. The other one is crowding the gate prior to boarding. That's another one. For me, again, you needing to put your stuff in the overhead bin doesn't trump everyone's ability to actually get through the line to get on the plane. And then my third one we did not talk about, but I'm going to say it might actually be my biggest pet peeve of life. So this is a big one, and that is anyone, anywhere, listening to something on a device, child or adult, without headphones. And this also goes for people who take calls on speakerphone in public. Please hear me when I say that no one, and I truly mean it, wants to hear your TV show or your conversation ever. Thank you. This is a public announcement.
Amazing. They should just announce that on the plane when you get on.
At the airport, at a cafe.
Anywhere.
It should just be everywhere. No one wants to hear your stuff. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I definitely agree with yours and the others mentioned by the listeners. I don't think I have any additional pet peeves to add. I definitely think the like spreading out and encroaching on my space is really annoying because we all don't have that much space on a plane, and like general lack of awareness of surroundings, holding up a line, listening to a really loud video, just like not being aware of people around you, and the bare feet. Like, no, thank you.
Agreed.
Also, so Megan, I wanted to bring this up. Have you seen the airport theory TikTok trend? Have you heard of this?
I have not watched any videos, but I have skimmed and I think I've seen something about it, but I don't really know what people are doing. So do explain.
Okay, so the airport theory TikTok trend is where people are showing up 15 to 30 minutes before their flight is scheduled to board, which is wild. And they're like, the theory is that, oh, you'll make it. You'll have enough time. Like, you don't need to spend all of that time sitting around waiting for your flight. Please don't do this. Like, literally, if you miss your flight, that is 100% on you, and you will have to pay for an entire new flight. Like, I also hate waiting around, but like, is it worth paying for an entire new flight? Absolutely not.
That's not the kind of adrenaline rush I need.
No, it's not.
Nope.
It's
I'm
not
gonna go for a no on that trend, most trends, but definitely that trend.
All right, so we've ranted. We've got out all of our issues, I think.
Or we know what we need to get out in the future.
Oh, we know what we need to work on. So let's take a few minutes to talk about the things that you should do on an airplane.
Yeah, and I think also these could even apply to the airport as well, or just some of them even just to life. So the first one is always be kind and respectful to other passengers and most definitely the staff. People are just trying to do their jobs and get you where you need to go safely. So please just be respectful.
Yes. And be patient and orderly. Most people don't love plane travel. It's just kind of a like, let's get to where we're going. There's a seat for everyone, usually. So, yeah, just like chill out. You don't need to like run to get on the plane and get the first overhead bin, you know?
Right. And plan ahead by pre-booking the seats you want. If seats matter to you and you know you need something specific or want a group of you together, plan ahead. Do that for yourself.
Yes. Keep your things, your stuff, and your body in your own seat area. And if you have children with you, make sure that they aren't running around the plane, kicking the seat in front of them and that they're in their own seat and their own area too.
Exactly. If you have a backpack with you, consider putting it actually under your seat in front of you, not in the overhead bin. Those are pliable, it will take up less room, your stuff will be accessible to you, and it will leave the overhead bin space for people that have hard suitcases that can't go under the seats.
Yes, and this is my trick for avoiding the anxiety of getting my things out of the overhead bin. I just bring a backpack and then I don't have to do the overhead bin and put myself through that.
Yeah, I never, and unless the few times that I've flown without checked luggage, I always bring a backpack, just I find it easier to maneuver.
Yeah. So do be quiet-ish on a plane. And like what I mean by this is like not everyone on a plane wants to talk. So if you're sitting next to someone you don't know, they don't necessarily want to have a 6-hour conversation with you. So, try to like pick up on their vibes and their body language to ensure if you're chatting that they actually want to chat with you. If they put in their headphones, please don't talk to them.
They do not want to talk to you.
No.
And then to go honestly with our last don't is the final do, and that is before boarding, get your stuff organized. Ensure your bag is repacked if you took your stuff out while you were waiting to board. Have your boarding pass and your ID ready. Just be as orderly as possible so that when you get on the plane, you can take your seat as soon as possible to keep people moving through the boarding process so that you can depart on time.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that is it for this week's episode. Listen, no one is perfect. We've probably all done some of these things. I've not done the bare feet thing, but we've probably all done some of these things. But going through these items, I think, is a really great reminder that no one flies alone. Even if you are a solo traveler, there's people there. So be aware of these things and try to make it a pleasant experience, not only for yourself, but for the people around you. And did we miss any big ones? If we did, we would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us on social media at Travel Mug Podcast. You can visit us on our website at travelmugpodcast.com. If you like what we're doing here, please consider buying us a coffee. Helps support the show. The link is in the show notes. Or leave us a review on Spotify or Apple. And until next time, safe travels and bye.